Grand rising, grand rising. Happy Friday, happy Friday. This is Sean Speaks. And, I was finishing up my workout and I was thinking about how in this life that I've lived in this body, I've always tried to show up in a way that I would get approval from other people. Whether it was my parents, whether it was my family members, friends, church family, whatever, right? I was always seeking the approval of someone else. Now, I didn't necessarily go in their face and say, give me your approval. But in the back of my mind, I always made my decisions with what they would say in mind. What would they say if I do this? What would they say if I would do that? And so I found myself, growing into this person that as I got older and start to become more conscious and more aware of myself, I didn't really want to be that person. So I found myself sort of using this term that I had never really used before. I found myself feeling inauthentic. Like the real me wasn't showing up in this body. Now, we all have people that we love and that we want to make happy and that we want to be happy with our decisions. So it's not necessarily odd or quote unquote wrong to consider your family or your friends and the things that you do. However, when it comes to shaping who you are and who you show up in this world, you have to be true to you. And so I want to know, have you ever felt like the you that you have become isn't authentically who you want to be? All right, I'm beginning to think that it's hard to show up authentically if you're wearing the masks of what other people say you should be. See, in this life, we have got to take back authority over our own lives, over this physical body that we have, right? We've got to decide that we're going to play full out in this life, that we're going to give this life and in this experience that we have all we got. And when you do that, you have got to be willing to make what we have labeled mistakes, because all mistakes are experiences that didn't quite turn out the way you expected. That's it. That's all a mistake is. So let's just get rid of the word. I'm real good at getting rid of a word. Let's just forget about that. And let's just call it experiences. And then also, let's consult ourselves, right? One of my friends sent me a meditation yesterday, and it touched my soul because one of the mantras in the meditation was, the core of my being is my reality. The core of my being is my reality. So are you consulting the core of your being to create your reality? Are you consulting the core of your being to create your reality? Or are you consulting John, Sally, mama, daddy, cousin, pastor, friend, stranger, right? The first person you need to consult is you. So if you want to start to show up at least a little bit more authentically, start to consult you, right? Feeling inauthentic, there's nothing wrong with that, right? The problem with inauthenticity is when someone else is in control of how you are being shaped. See, when you're trying to get from point A to point B or change from person A to person B, well, in between the process, right, you're going to feel a little bit inauthentic because you're not quite B, but you're no longer really A, right? So that's okay. And as long as you're in control of becoming B, meaning that's who you want to be, then it's all good. But most of us, including myself, right, I wasn't shaping myself. I was letting the world shape me, right? I was trying to be the good little black girl from Southern Mississippi, right? I wanted to show up the way they say I'm supposed to show up, right? But now I realize I'm in control of how I show up. I get to design, I get to mold, right? And it all starts with the decisions that you make about your life. Who's in control of the decisions that you make about your life? Because if you are seeking the approval of everybody else around you before you act, before you do, before you become, then that means you are seeking their decisions and not yours. So if you want to start to feel just a little bit more authentic or a little bit happy in your inauthenticity on your way to becoming more authentic, then it is time for you to consult the core of your being in the creation of your reality. Ashe, free thinkers, ashe. May what you say manifest in your life today and every day. Ashe.